Good afternoon, folks. I'm here today to show you a little something other than fragrance. Today I'm going to be doing some sprouting, and this is not the only time I've done it. I've actually done it twice before this, and so far I like the outcome. Why I originally decided to do sprouting was my daughter and my wife, they actually did it as kind of like an experiment with some lentils, and I was the one that actually enjoyed it and decided to keep doing it and taking it further. But we started off originally with just a regular jar right here, as you can see. And I got some white beans that I'm experimenting with that I'm gonna sprout. And we'll see how those go. But with the lentils, I figure, well, I wanna do this on a larger scale because I wanna basically find a way to get more vegetation in my diet, because the thing is that I wanted to do something. I know, like, in the past few years, you know, I've been into like bodybuilding competitions and stuff like that, and just lately, to be honest, I don't really feel as healthy as I could. So the thing is that vegetables are pretty expensive, and so are fruits. If you're buying from the grocery store and you're making your diet based off of fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, that stuff really adds up over time. And on top of that, like, you don't really, like, honestly, I don't really trust a lot of the grocery stores, and not even a lot of the health food stores, because a lot of even the health food stores, many of these guys are just want to be politically correct and just put some, you know, stuff on the box, or, you know, in the fruit and vegetable section saying, yeah, it's this or that. So I figure, you know, the only way for me to be 100% that I'm getting natural fruits and vegetables is to start growing my own. But the only thing about growing your own is, you know, you gotta have land to do that, or you have to have, you know, a nice sized backyard, which I don't. I live in a townhouse, and so far I have we started a little outdoor pot garden, which you can see right here. We got some tomatoes and strawberries and eggplants, but this is not enough to sustain, you know, my daily intake of fruits and vegetables. So that's why I decided to go with, you know, sprouting. And so I'm gonna be moving away from the jars, and what I did is I went to Walmart and I got these bigger containers, okay, right here. And what I want to do is I want to drill some holes in those. I got about 6 of these, and start sprouting, you know, on a larger scale to supply my daily intake of vegetation, if you will. So I'm gonna drill those out, and hopefully it works out. My next step is to do what they call microgreens, which is basically like you plant these beans, or let's say even broccoli seeds, and they get to a certain height, like about that tall, and then you cut them down and you eat them as a salad. So the thing is, honestly, most of my life I haven't really gotten the good sufficient amount of fruits and vegetables in my life. You know, one, because maybe, you know, my parents and my grandmother and stuff, maybe they didn't make a lot of these things, but also in my adult life I really don't eat a lot of fruits and vegetables because it adds up. It gets pretty pricey. So we're gonna see how this turns out. I'm going to start with the sprouting, and then we're gonna move over to the microgreens, because the nice thing about microgreens is they're loaded with like nutrients and vitamins and minerals. And just the other day when I did the lentil sprouts, I had ran out of some oatmeal for breakfast, so I said, well, let me eat the jar of lentil sprouts that came up. And I mean, it started off like this little bit amount of lentils in the beginning, and before you know it, 4 days later, I got a jar filled all the way to the top with sprouts. So just by soaking these seeds or these beans and seeds in water, you can yield like 5 times more than what you actually put in that water. So it's like you're growing your own food basically in your own house, which I'm all about, you know, saving money and you know, increasing my health. And after I got them eating those lentil sprouts, man, I felt like $1,000,000, because lentil sprouts are very high in iron, but I felt like really full of energy afterwards. So I want to kind of like continue this and keep up with this and see, you know, what kind of progress I make in my health. And I encourage a lot of my viewers to try this out as well. Try it at home. and see if you like it. You know, you might actually not like it, and you might like it. My wife doesn't actually like the lentil sprouts. She says they're bitter, but there's something in those sprouts that it's like I think my body is craving it. I think it's the nutrients. But however, check back again. I'm going to be doing these containers and drilling those out, and we're going to be doing multiple different beans in there, bean sprouting. So check again on the second video after I drill these holes out in those containers I got from Walmart. Bye.